Saturdays. This is going to be another fun one, man. Listen, here's what we're going to talk about. We're going to review the new Call of Duty. We're going to talk about Grand Theft Auto 6 leaks that are coming out. Or there's a new season Squid Games in November. Oh, we got to talk about the Sixers, man.
Thanksgiving is coming up. You know what I'm saying?
I would talk about anything else right now. The 76ers are 1-7, but we're here. We're not being frauds. We're here no matter what. Sixers Saturdays, Tone to Shields, Mike Sports Vibes. What's good, fellas? Thanks everyone for being here. 133 in here. Hit the like button for your boys up here. How you guys feeling?
Oh man, Mike, you want to go first? I mean,
I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say what's good with the Sixers right now. There's not many things good besides Jared McCain and a possibility of Joel Embiid coming back on Tuesday. And other than that, I don't know what's good with the Sixers right now. And the Eastern Conference is not as good as it could be. But I'm just a little bit I just gotta ask the Sixer fan base, like, how do you feel about Jared McCain being a starter or possibly getting more consistent minutes after this Lakers game? I feel like there's no excuses now, because now that you see his talent, that he's confident, he can pretty much beat a lot of people off the dribble, driving to the lane. And what did he shot from three yesterday? He shot 4 of 9 from three. He got game, and he's one of the best finishers at the rim. And I just want to see more of Jared McCain. And what do we have to lose? We're 1-7. So there's no reason for us to play Eric Gordon high minutes, Kyle Lowry high minutes, Reggie Jackson any minutes. So I just want to see our guy Jared McCain play more, because I'm going to keep it real with you, man. I'm starting to think that he might be able to play next to Tyrese, or maybe we could keep him on the bench, because we need that Lou Williams coming off the bench to give us some instant offense. But I'm liking Jared McCain more and more. I mean, the reason why is because he's getting opportunity. Also, I just have to say, Andre Drummond, I called him out last game against the Clippers, and he had a decent game against the Lakers yesterday, because there was one specific play against the Clippers, and I said, yo, why is Andre Drummond playing like he's like 6 foot? He got a rebound, offensive rebound, and James Harden was right behind him. This guy didn't post him up. He didn't even look at the rim, and he just passed the ball. And I'm like, come on, Andre Drummond. So I'm happy that he got his act together yesterday. He did miss a couple of bunnies, but he was slamming the ball. He was acting enthusiastic when he was getting points. So I'm happy what Andre Drummond did against the Lakers. But he got to keep it up. At least for another game, until Joel Embiid comes back.
So. Yeah, I feel you, Mike. Well, this is what I'll do. I'll start with my positives from last night, right? I'll start with my positives. So I really liked what I saw from Yabusele. I feel like Yabusele just gives you a wide range of contributions, right? He's going to hustle on both ends of the floor. He's going to fight for the boards, even though he probably has no business getting most of them, but he's going to fight for them. He's aggressive when he has the ball. He always makes the right basketball play. He's always cutting to the basket. He's always trying to make himself an option on offense. And that goes a long way with me, because he stands out so much, because you see a lot of people not making themselves an option on offense. Right. It just seems like Yabusele knows how to get good looks. And he's committed to being valuable and a threat to the opponent at the three-point line. 2 games in a row, he shot pretty well from deep. Last night, he went 3 for 4. And I think the night prior to that, if I'm not mistaken, not against the Clippers, but the game before that, the Suns game. The Suns game, he shot 45% from 3. The Memphis game, he shot 50% from 3. In the Memphis game, shot 66% from 3 in the Detroit game. So I'm looking at Yabusele as a guy who's clearly showing you an ability to consistently provide you some type of offense, some type of hustle, some type of spark.
Something.
He's like, one thing I respect about him, he's giving you the same product on both ends of the floor every night, clearly. Another player that stood out to me, and again, this is me just standing on the positives before we get too deep into the negatives. Another player who stood out to me last night was KJ Martin. Now I don't know if it's because his dad. I don't know if it's because his dad was in attendance. You know, I love Kenyon Martin. But KJ Martin had a really, really good game last night, an underrated game. I feel like his contributions on defense sparked a couple runs for them, especially in that second quarter and late in that first quarter. There were moments where they were down by double digits. Some KJ Martin defense led to some baskets for him or some baskets for other players. I just liked how KJ Martin was moving. In the 17 minutes he played, he gave you 11 minutes, 4 for 5 from the field, made his only 3-point shot, got to the free throw line, gave you boards, got a block. Didn't in the 17 minutes only got 1 foul, so that shows he knows how to play defense without fouling. One of his best plays was when he went straight up, I believe, with I can't remember.
Talking about the block. You talking about the block?
It was the most.
Yes.
It was the most technically sound block I've seen in a while. So I want to give credit to KJ Martin for just playing good football. I mean, not football, good basketball. I hardly see him make the wrong play. Again, another player that just does the right thing on the court and hustles no matter what. Want to give love to Jerry McCain, like you, Mike. Jerry McCain really shocked me last night. Let me not say shocked. He gave me a good feeling last night because I was down on Jerry McCain the day he got here. The day he got here, I was down on Jerry McCain. I just felt like he was a weirdo. But nonetheless, though, just keeping it strictly basketball, the kid could hoop. The kid could hoop, right? And if you could hoop, I don't care what you do. You feel what I'm saying? So one of the things that stood out to me about Jerry McCain is just the aggressiveness, right? He took the most shots, which is crazy. He took more shots than Paul George. Now, granted, he played 31 minutes. He played 31 minutes compared to Paul George 25, and it's only a 4-shot disparity. So, I mean, maybe you could do the math on that, but regardless, I liked Jerry McCain's willingness to take charge, willingness to create offense, willingness to keep fighting for his shot, even if it's not falling. Putting up 18 points, 6 for 17, 4 for 9 from 3. He's clearly an option in this offense, and in my humble opinion, I think he needs to be the starter going forward until Maxey comes back. Jerry McCain has shown an ability to create for himself, to create for others. His shot is falling a little bit more consistently now. His confidence is going up. When you need guys like that on the court. So again, those were my 3 favorite players to watch last night: Jerry McCain, KJ Martin, and Yabusele. Everybody else, I was very up and down on all night. Pause.
Yep. Yeah. Listen. It's hard for me to even list positives because the negatives are so
but that's why we're here.
So
that's
amplified right now.
We'll take care of the positives for you. We'll let you just go in. We appreciate you for that.
Talk that talk. Talk that talk.
Look, the injuries. Coach can lean on the injuries and people who aren't really watching the game and every possession and every lineup can say like, well, what's he supposed to do? Look at you're missing these guys, you're missing these guys, you're missing these guys. Listen, Kyle Lowry in the last 2 games is 1 for 15. Let me say that again. Kyle Lowry in the last 2 games is 1 for 15. Reggie Jackson might be the worst player in the entire NBA. Like in the entire, I'm talking end of the bench. I'm talking 2-way contracts. I'm talking this dude is so washed. It's and again, I watched it in the preseason. I watched it in the beginning of the season, and people keep hitting my comments saying, "Why isn't he playing Reggie Jackson?" I'm like, just type in the chat. I haven't watched the Sixers game yet. That's what you need to type in the chat. If you're saying what, like I've seen him already. He can't play anymore at this level.
He's a liability. He's a liability, dog.
And so what I'm saying is, even with the injuries, what is this dude's obsession with these 40-year-old washed players, bro? Put Jeff Doughton Jr. in the game, bring somebody else from the G League, pull somebody out of AAU down the street. Like, how are these players who are literally retired? They're playing the game while retired. That's what they are. How are they in the game? How is Kyle Lowry playing 32 minutes in an NBA game at 39 years old in 2024? And he's not LeBron James. There's no other 39-year-old on the planet that should be playing basketball at 39 years old. Just LeBron James, nobody else. You know what I mean? I'll take Vince Carter at 39 years old. I can't think of anybody else that had anything left at 39 years old. Yeah. So even with the injuries, that Nick Nurse is driving me nuts, man. And he's Doc Rivers all over again, bro. He really is. He really is. The Jared McCain stuff, he was forced to play him. That's another thing we used to scream at Doc Rivers for. He wouldn't play a guy like that until the injuries called for it. And then the kid plays the way that we all knew he could play. It's I feel like every year the fan base is yelling, why aren't you doing this? Why aren't you doing this? You should be doing this. And as soon as the coach does it, it works. Not because the fans are geniuses, but because it's not a very complicated game. It's very simple. I think coaches get hired. They get in these positions. They think they're some kind of rocket scientist. They think there's an equation to everything they're doing. They're looking at everything way too much. They're looking at minutes. They're looking at plus minus. They're looking at production when he came in the game for 3 minutes, whatever it is. And really, probably a 16-year-old NBA fan could have taken the 2016 Golden State Warriors to a championship, or the 2008 Boston Celtics, I just don't think coaching is that complicated. And we keep getting these guys that overcomplicate the whole thing, refuse to keep it simple and do the obvious. And the fan base seems to know what should be happening more than an experienced head coach, because it's the ego and all that stuff that's like, I just can't, bro. I just can't. It's driving me nuts. And then in a game where you were like, okay, with nobody, Paul George got to drop 25. He has to drop 25 in a game with nobody. I don't care if you were out with a hyperextended knee. I don't care if you're still ramping up. You got to drop 25. The dude's 4 for 13, 0 for 6 from 3. And it's not just the fact that he couldn't make a shot. He looked checked out. He looked like there was a shot from the corner where he just threw it up like he was playing horse, or like he was playing like he was playing 21 or something, like he just chucked it up from the corner. No real care in the world. Everybody knew it wasn't going in. And Paul George is playing with fire, because if the Philadelphia fans in Philadelphia, in the Wells Fargo Center, witness you at all look like you don't care, you are going to get smoked for 4 straight years. You can't. They signed you to $230 million for 4 years. And if you show at all that you're checked out in a game, Philly's the wrong place to do it. This ain't LA. This ain't Miami. This Philly's the wrong place to do it, bro. And if he starts playing like that on a regular basis, this fan base will start to boo him nonstop.
It's funny.
There's my first initial feelings about everything.
It's funny. I didn't even catch that. Because historically, PG is a high effort player. I mean, he was throwing his body around like he died for loose balls in that game last night. I mean, I don't know. Again, maybe you saw a moment where you were like, his decision making indicated to you that, okay, that's a checked out decision. But I guess for me, like you said, you needed 20 plus points from him last night, and there were moments in that game where it just looked like he didn't have the legs. His shot just kept coming up short, like front rim. I'm like, okay, he doesn't have the legs for whatever reason. Now, granted, obviously, basketball shape is different from just taking care of your body, so he still got some games to your point, ramp up, right? But he has to shoot better. You got to shoot better when you're the only guy out there. And again, there were moments in this game when you said, oh, okay, they're scoring, they're figuring something out. They're having a hard time finding consistent offense. And I think their biggest problem is lack of movement, right? They're trying to pass the ball, but no one's cutting, no one's moving around, no one's making the slight adjustments. I'm looking at the Lakers, and it seems like everybody's just looking for their shot. Everybody's cutting, everybody's trying to find the open space. Spacing is awful for them right now. It seems like every shot is tough. Let me give you guys a stat real quick. And if you watch the games, you can see this with your own eyes, but it's crazy when you actually see it. Did you know the Philadelphia 76ers are ranked dead last in the NBA in opponent blocks? They get blocked the most.
The Lakers had 14 last night. The Lakers had 14 last night.
They're averaging 6.9 opponent blocks per game, and they're also, when it comes to the assist to turnover ratio, the Sixers are one of the worst teams. They're ranked 25th in the NBA in assist to turnover ratio. So, dude,
you know why there's so many blocks? Because you got too many dumbasses on the court at the same time. Like every NBA team, there's always a dumbass. Kelly Oubre, Andre Drummond. These guys don't have a thought process going through their head. They get the ball. They're just like, duh, put it back up right away. You know, you can't have two of those guys on the floor at the same time. Kelly Oubre gets a rebound. He immediately turns and goes up. It doesn't matter who's there. These guys are swatting that shit without even jumping. And Andre Drummond does the same. There's a lot of guys like that. Not a lot. I think those are probably the only two. But it's just, yeah, they get the ball and they just kind of charge right at the rim and get blocked pretty easily. And you can't have two of those guys on the floor at the same time. That's what I think.
Yeah. Kelly Oubre Jr. That had to have been his worst game of the season. He was just, I don't know.
And I love Kelly Oubre. I love him.
Yeah, I like him a lot.
Those kind of guys you live with. Those kind of guys, you just live with the negatives. You love what they do. You know what I mean?
That's what
I love Kelly Oubre.
That's what I was going to ask you guys. Because
go ahead,
isn't he
Mike,
the kind of player that I'm sorry, Mike, but I guess.
Yeah, I was just saying that he was 4 of 16. You're gonna have bad shooting days, but it's just a little bit different. You know what I mean? And 0 of 4 from 3. I just think, and I know we always say this, I just think when Joel Embiid gets back on the floor, it's just gonna look so much better when it comes to everybody in general. You know what I mean? Everything's gonna look so much smoother when it comes to the ball movement, like what you were saying, Tone. The ball movement, cutting, everything's gonna look so much better when we get him back. But yeah, Kelly Oubre Jr. Yeah, it was tough watching him. It was tough watching him.
I mean,
yeah, he's a streaky player, but
like,
he's just.
Like I said, Oubre is that kind of player that you know what you're going to get from him. He's always going to look for a shot. He's going to be aggressive. He's going if he gets the rebound, just know he's going to try to put that shit back in the hole. Like he's that kind of one-track mind player. He's like a J.R. Smith type, one-track mind. You know what they are, but you like having them around you. It's you know what I mean? You love to hate him, you hate to love him. He's that kind of player.
I want to give a shout out to Caleb Martin real quick. I mean, he shot he did all right against the Lakers. When it comes to his
he
three,
got a shot back.
When it comes to his three, he was 3 of 4. He was 3 of 4 from 3. So that is a good thing, Sixer. That's a good sign. You know what I mean? Because he's been bricking for chicken every game this season. So we got to make sure that he gets it together, man. Because he was off.
The last game, the last game, he looked like he had like a hitch in his shot, and it looked like he's like
he still does a little bit.
I don't know what happened.
It looked like he's like throwing a 20-pound medicine ball when he shoots the ball 2 games ago. And I'm like, what happened? And then last night, it didn't look that difficult. That's what I meant. Like the 2 games ago, it looked difficult for him to shoot. Last night, it looked smoother and a lot more confident. And I'm like, what is going on with this guy's shot? How's it good one day and terrible the next? I don't know. But yeah, maybe he got it back. Maybe he figured out what was wrong.
Listen, I'll say this about Caleb Martin, just to give him his credit. In 5 of 8 games played, he scored double digits. So that's what you like to see from a guy in his position. That would have way more significance if you were fully healthy and you had all your stars, right? When you have a guy consistently giving you double digits, in your lineup, he's technically giving you exactly what he's meant to be there to do, right? Those 10 to 14-point games. He is shooting. He is shooting a little better from 3. He had his best shooting night from 3. I would definitely give him that.
Yes.
But
yeah,
he just looks. He looks like he's thinking a lot out there. That's just my opinion. I don't know. Maybe you guys see something different. He looks like he's thinking a lot out there. And
he's just trying to find a rhythm. Like he's trying to find himself.
Yeah, I agree. And it's a new team, and it's hard to find yourself in a new situation where everybody that's supposed to be there is not there. So I totally understand the struggle that a lot of them have, right? One of the things that I noticed that's been racking my brain over these past several games is that it looks like guys are thinking way too much out there.
Right.
Guys are having a hard time trying to figure out, should I shoot it? Should I look for the pass? Should I put it back up? It just seems like a lot of thinking out there, a lack of clarity. And I put that on Nick Nurse, right?
Coach.
I understand that you have injuries, but you should not be 1-7 bad. The amount of money they invested, you had Maxey for primarily all those games, and then obviously you got Paul. Like, you should not be 1-7. I would totally understand if you were 4-4, right? Or 3-5. I would totally understand that.
Right.
You're 1-7. So whatever Nick Nurse is feeding to these guys, from a basketball perspective, whatever he's preaching to these guys,
they working.
It's not, something's not connecting. they're showing the ability to put some runs together and be in a game, but then they can't close a game. They can't get up. Had they led by double digits at any point in these games? I mean, whatever is
probably in the first half, but not in the second half. The second half, the third quarter is our biggest weakness, bro.
There you go.
Every time the third quarter comes, it's over. Oh, he just put it up. It's a wrap after the third quarter.
Davon, the Sixers are minus 19.4 in third quarters. Also play Edwards and Lester. Listen, Justin Edwards and Lester Quinones, I like them as young talent. And last year, the Sixers got blown out by the Golden State Warriors, and Lester Quinones had 13 points and 4 made threes. So it just, it just goes to my point that these players can play basketball if the coach would put them on the floor. But he's not going to do that.
I feel
guys need to know what their job is. I don't understand how, yes, you're missing some stars, but Nick Nurse, you have to make these guys feel confident no matter what's going on. You got to make these guys believe in what you're selling. There is a disconnect between what he's asking and what they're doing out there. Because there was a point in that third quarter where I was like, yo, this is painful to watch. What is going on? What is going on? They had like back-to-back possessions with like a turnover or a self-inflicted wound. I mean, it was just like there was a stretch in that game where I was like, oh my God, somebody pull the plug, please. Pull the plug.
Turn it off.
Put the
that's the thing.
Wave the white flag. Wave the white flag.
Yeah.
But it's
especially
like
that late at night, man. Everybody turned it off in third quarter, dude. 11:30 at night, man. I'm not watching the rest of this. I watched the rest of it because I'm a psycho.
Yeah, I mean,
I was rewatching it tonight,
to be exact.
But my whole thing is this: on paper, we supposed to be way better than this, though, man. I understand Joel hasn't played a game. I understand that Paul George just came back. I think this is his second or third game. I understand all that, but at the end of the day, I feel like we shouldn't be 1-7 though. That's what makes it so bad. Like, so something about Nick Nurse is, like you said, is not clicking with the whole team. And everybody should know their roles, but how can they know their roles if they're not getting consistent minutes?
Right.
You know what I mean?
And I think, I'm so glad you said that, Mike, because it looks like Nick Nurse too often he's trying to throw shit at the wall and see if it stick.
Right.
You know, you don't have Embiid. You knew that for a fact. You ain't had Paul George for an extended period of time. You knew that for a fact. Okay.
Yep.
You should have had a rotation that you loved and you were going to stick to no matter what.
It should look better than this.
Because there's no continuity in any of his rotations. He's trying so hard to just find something instead of just finding it in practice, nurturing it, pouring water on it, let it become what it's going to become. But he's trying so hard. These guys can't get into a rhythm with each other. So how many different lineups have we seen? How many have we seen, you guys?
I lost count, brother.
You got to do a better job at making these guys believe you know what you're doing. And it just he's just throwing shit at the wall.
He's throwing shit at the wall, and he's not trying any. Well, he's not. He keeps coming back with really the same lineups. You know what I mean?
Yes.
He's trying every game. It's the same. And you look at these scores. You're not even really close in any of these games. The only game they were close in, their only win is an overtime win because Maxey dropped 45. They should be 0-7 basically. The only game they were close in was the Phoenix Suns, and they almost won that game. Phoenix,
to me, that was their best performance offensively. And
I know at the same time, Phoenix doesn't play no damn defense. Like they looked. Phoenix looked like they were jogging around in that game. But
they didn't take them serious.
All of these scores, even the ones that are close, that was because they threw the bench in the fourth quarter of the other team and stuff. Like all of these games were blowouts, bro. Literally, almost every one was a blowout. You're not even close, and you keep coming back with. Kyle Lowry and now Reggie Jackson, and like, just what's the point of that? What like the guys in the chat say, play Quinones, play Justin Edwards, play Adembona, play. Just dude, try it.
Yeah. What you got to lose?
Yeah, what you got to lose? We already losing, so just play them.
You're not even close right now, man. It's crazy.
Dang,
it's crazy.
This is bad.
So they need. I mean, obviously, Joel Embiid makes a big difference, but you need for them to even get back on a roll and get to a situation where they can start winning some games and get back over 500 and get back into the playoff hunt by February, March, April. You need Joel Embiid obviously to be healthy, but you're also gonna I'm not playing back-to-backs, and they're gonna he's gonna be load managed the whole season. He's gonna be periodic time off and all this. That ain't gonna work. I think that needs to be out the window now, because you thought like, oh, we're just gonna rest him until the playoffs, and now you're like, wait a minute, I don't even think we're gonna make the playoffs if they keep going like this. So you're gonna need him.
You're in the hole.
Yeah, you need. Joel's apparently coming back Tuesday against the Knicks, and
isn't it ironic? It took a suspension for him to come back.
Well, yeah, it took a suspension, and the Sixers feeling like they can't beat anybody in the NBA right now.
It's a shame.
You absolutely need Joel Embiid to come back, but you need him. You're going to need him to play consistently, not like one night and then 2 games off. What their original plan was. I think that might have to be out the window, man. Look, Charlotte's balling because LaMelo Ball is back and healthy.
Yeah. LaMelo Ball.
Then you got the Knicks. Then you got the Cavs, who still haven't lost a game. Then you got the Magic, who lost Paolo but are still have a lot of young talent and are still out there beating teams. They won last night over the Pelicans, who are injured. Miami, Memphis, Brooklyn went to overtime with the Boston Celtics last night. Clippers, Rockets, Pistons, again, a lot of young talent that can smack you around if you mess around.
And they got Tobias Harris. They got Tobias Harris too. So
I'm not seeing many wins. I'm not seeing many wins.
Not because we got Joel though. We got Joel back though.
If Joel's back healthy,
East, what I feel you. East, what I feel you, and that's very concerning. At the end of the day, even when he comes back, you're in the hole. You're 1-7. But Mike, you said something earlier that went over my head that I'm just realizing how vulnerable the East is right now.
Yes, the record. If you look up the records of the Eastern Conference right now, you got the Cavs at 10-1, and then you got the Boston Celtics. They got like 8 wins, 7 wins.
Yep, they're 8-2,
and everybody else is 500.
Exactly.
And so if you get on a 7-game win streak, you're already going to be in the 3rd, 4th seed just from getting on a 7-game win streak or something similar.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Look how weak the East is. Like,
because technically, look, once you get into the thick of the season, now like it's easy to catch up with some of these teams, right?
Right.
So if you can go on a nice win streak, like you said, Mike, if you can go on a nice 5 to 7 game win streak, and then at that point, you every 3 games you lose one, every 4 games you lose one. Like you can get back into the hunt. You can get back in the mix. It's early enough where you can catch all these teams. Right. I don't know about Cleveland though. That's another conversation. But
10-0, bro. What's going on over there?
That's fucking crazy.
I don't think it's real, man. I still don't think it's real.
I don't think it's real either.
Look at their points per game. 124.5 points per game. That's like 5 points higher than anybody.
I don't think they're real because I don't know, man.
Garland is playing good.
Cleveland gives me that team that's going to, you know what they're giving? And I know, and they're obviously more talented than this team I'm about to mention, but remember that season when the Atlanta Hawks was just beating everybody's ass?
Kyle Lowry year. I mean, not Kyle Lowry, Kyle Korver year.
Oh, yeah, with
Jeff Teague, Kyle
Jeff
Korver,
Teague,
Al
yeah.
Horford.
That's a good comparison.
Smooth.
That's a good comparison.
You know what I'm saying? Like it just seems like they're coached very well.
Yeah.
And they obviously they got two great ball handlers in Garland and Mitchell, and I do like
this
the
dude's
kid,
cooking too. Evan Mobley's playing great too.
I like Evan Mobley a lot.
Yeah.
But I think they're ahead of schedule.
I gotta see it. I gotta see it when they play us.
And look, I could be totally off, right? They could make a run, but I just have a hard time. I have a hard time believing that.
How's Tristan Thompson still in the NBA?
Hey, listen, man.
He one of those players like Vince.
He's only 33. He's 43 at least. That's crazy.
I remember when he got drafted, yo. That shit was hilarious.
Bang Bang Niang. They got Bang Bang Niang too. Don't forget. Bang Bang Niang. The minivan.
I don't know, man. I just don't.
Look how young their roster is. Real quick, look how young their roster is.
Yeah, let me go back.
Oh, the age.
26, 20, 24, 27, 28, 28, 23, 31, 23, 24, 28. Should we do the Sixers now?
Now pull up the Sixers.
Oh, no.
Hold on. Let me get back to hold up. Teams 76ers roster. Yeah, let's look at the ages here. 21, 23. That's Dembona and Ricky Council. They don't play. Jeff Doughton Jr. 27. He doesn't play. Andre Drummond 31. Justin Edwards is 20. He doesn't play. Joel Embiid is 30. Paul George is 34. 35, 34, 38.
Oh,
29.
gosh.
29, 23, 24, 20, 28, 23, 28. Yeah, all the guys that are under 25 don't get any. They don't get on the floor. Every other team seems like.
What is that? What is that? I don't understand.
It's Nick Nurse, bro.
When you're at this point, you're 1-7. I'm saying, listen, you know what? I'm blowing this shit up. You know what? Okay, Jared McCain, you're starting. All right, Caleb Martin, you're starting. You know what? Yabusele, you're playing the 4. You know what I'm saying? Adam Bona, you're backing up Andre Drummond. You know, I'm just I don't understand how complex they make
rocket science.
They make basketball is not the most complex sport. And I never like disparaging a sport for its lack of complexity, but it's one of the sports where you don't got to be the greatest coach to get this shit to go. You don't got to be the greatest coach to get it going. And I wonder what Nick Nurse is doing. I'm really wondering what he's doing. I wonder what the staff's doing. What's the message?
If you're not older than 33, you can get minutes. That's what the message is. You ain't getting no consistent minutes.
Raptors fans told me all that when we hired him, when the Raptors fired him. Basically, he won the championship with the 2019 Kawhi Leonard, Pascal Siakam, Fred VanVleet off the bench. They had Serge Ibaka was still really good. They had Marc Gasol, Kyle Lowry in his prime. They had a really good team. He won the championship, and after Kawhi left, apparently for a couple of years the fans were screaming at him for not playing young players, and apparently he was eventually fired, mostly because they wanted to develop Scotty Barnes, and he was not playing him as much as people thought that he should have been. So
yeah. I think
so. Basically, we fired a guy for that same thing, and then we hired a guy that does the same thing.
Right.
Going back to my point, man. Like I'm tired of recycling coaches. I've always hated that whole notion in every sport, NFL, NBA. I hate this whole recycle coach culture. Like it's just
Doc Rivers.
Hire a guy who nails the interview. Don't hire a guy because he makes you feel safe or he brings credibility or legitimacy to your decision. Hire the guy that you deem is the best for the job, the best basketball mind. And if people don't know who the fuck he is, so be it. It is what it is. That's
what we were on with Brett Brown. That's where we were at with Brett Brown. And, at this point, I'm looking back and I'm saying at least Brett Brown would have put a whole bunch of different young players on the floor and try a whole bunch of different lineups,
what are some of the great coaches that left the Sixers organization, like assistant coaches that were Sam Cassell, Maurice
Houston.
Maurice Cheeks wasn't.
The dude in Houston.
Didn't we have Ime Udoka?
Yeah.
Ime Udoka, yep. He was an assistant.
That's another one.
Yep. There was a dude, the dude that coached the Suns a couple years ago and then signed a big contract with the Pistons, but he got fired already. But he was good for a couple years.
Is it big? No, not Bickerstaff. Bickerstaff coaches the Pistons now.
I forget his name. But
there's another guy. I'm trying to think of the Bulls' name.
Regardless, though, I think they need to do a better job at hiring people who want to develop talent, right? And obviously, this is the Sixers.
Monty, that's who it was.
Yeah,
Monty.
Yeah, that's who it was. Thank you, Daniel.
Monty Williams.
Monty. Yeah.
I feel like he got a shit into the stick. In Phoenix,
in Detroit,
and Detroit.
Yeah,
but
definitely
in
Detroit.
They still paying him though, so don't make it. He cool. They still paying him.
Getting that paper.
He signed a big time contract.
Big contract, and you expected him to fix a fucking dumpster fire in a year or 2 years, whatever it was. I mean,
right. So what's the? Damn man, what is really some solutions to the 1-7 start? I know we could rant about Nick Nurse all day and his refusal to try something different and throw a bunch of young guys on the floor. I guess getting Joel Embiid back and healthy, and Paul George is still on a minutes restriction. So there's that too. Last night, Paul George said that Paul George mentioned struggling to be at his best while playing on a minutes restriction, being used in short stints. I asked him how much longer he expects to deal with that. He said likely at least a couple more games. The Sixers have a back-to-back next week. What's he on a minutes restriction for? I never understand this minutes restriction stuff, bro, because if you're not hurt, what is this? I don't get it, Like you hyperextend your knee into preseason. They're saying you went through all the testing. There's no pain. There's no bruising. Everything looks good, but we're going to be on a minutes restriction. Well, why?
Yeah.
Trying to be extra careful.
If you cleared me, what are we restricting?
Right.
In my opinion.
It's going to be the same thing with Joel Embiid. When he comes back, you think, like, I don't know how many minutes they're going to give that brother. Like, he probably only going to get like 25 minutes a game.
Well, that's the dilemma they have right now because they can't afford to do that. You got to start winning some games.
Right.
Yeah, and then Maxey's going for what, 2 weeks?
He's going to be gone for a month.
A month? Jesus.
I think. With a hamstring? I don't know.
Yeah, it's a hamstring. And, I've been seeing these hamstring injuries a lot in football recently.
Because you don't want to rush them back.
A lot of these guys have been going for 3 weeks on average, 3 or 4 weeks on average. So,
and it's hamstrings touchy, man. Like you can, it's hard. I think it's hard to tell when a hamstring is fully healed. Also, it can feel good, and then bam, you yank that shit again. And
and Maxey, his game is predicated on speed. His game is speed, stopping, going, cutting. Like so, he
needs to be good before he comes back.
He got to be good.
Yeah,
you don't want to force him out. He's, in my opinion, that's the fucking franchise. He's the franchise, if you ask me.
They said, who said this? Brett Siegel, NBA, said, while Maxey still missed time to rest and recover, his hamstring injury will not result in a prolonged absence like Embiid's knee issues. The initial thought is Maxey will return close to Thanksgiving, assume he doesn't suffer any setbacks. And the good thing for Maxey with the hamstring is that he's 24 years old. If this was, Kyle Lowry or Paul George or anybody else, like the hamstrings, when you get into your mid-30s, bro, you get one nagging hamstring injury, and it's, James Harden dealt with it for like 3 years in a row. He kept having the same hamstring injury.
Oh, don't worry.
So I have faith that it won't be lingering for Tyrese Maxey because he's young.
A young guy, yeah. I feel you. But yeah, you said what's the solutions, right? For one, I'm starting Jerry McCain next game. I need to see Jerry McCain start a game, see what he can do with big boy minutes. He led your team in minutes and points played against the Lakers. It's at this point, I'm starting Jerry McCain. My backup point guard is going to be the fucking kid. Where is he? The guys you guys like.
Backup point guard, Jeff Doughton.
Oh, Jeff Doughton.
I'm trying to think.
Regardless,
Jerry McCain is starting. Kyle Lowry, you're not playing no more than 20 minutes, and you're only getting those because it's a necessity.
Right.
I'm releasing him. I'm signing Markelle Fultz or somebody.
That's what they've been talking about on Twitter, man. They was talking about that. Markelle Fultz.
I'm releasing him, man.
He said, "I'm releasing him. Fuck it."
Yeah, who's out there, bro? Dude, he wasn't
bring
gonna,
back Markelle Fultz, man.
He was Kyle Lowry was going to retire. Nobody else was offering him an NBA contract. The only reason he's on this team is because Nick Nurse loves him and Daryl Morey just likes old players. He wasn't going to get signed by anybody else. He was going to retire. The Miami Heat played him like 10 minutes a game in the playoffs before the Sixers signed him. He looked like he was on his way out. And we're trying to revive a 39-year-old guy.
Yeah,
get him the fuck.
That was about to retire. That's the
Jason
problem.
Peters. This Jason Peters all over again, man. Got one more year. He's 40, bro. Stop.
Yo.
They trying to make it seem like everybody's LeBron James. No, there's only one LeBron James in the history of the NBA. There's no other LeBron James. Everybody's not LeBron. You know what I'm saying?
Reggie
Kyle Lowry.
And Reggie Jackson is so bad, dude. Listen, last night Reggie Jackson shot an air ball. Okay, then he hit a three. Then he got in a situation. Then he got in a situation where the shot clock was running down and he was in an ISO. I was like, oh no, this is gonna be bad. He shoots a step back. He shoots a step back three, another air ball, right? Then there was a play where he goes around a screen on the left side, gets on the baseline, nobody between him and the rim, and he does a running floater like 8 feet from the rim. There's nobody there, and he shanked it. It was so bad.
I don't know. Why did we get Reggie Jackson? What was their mindset getting him? Why did
They're
sign
so
him?
obsessed with experience. They're so obsessed with playoff experience.
It's overrated. It's overrated.
What about experience in younger players?
Yeah,
they're
so obsessed with these guys have played experienced playoff basketball. Okay, and they were good 10 years ago.
You got to get there first.
They're also not good anymore. People will be like, dude, somebody was on Twitter. They were like, man, I don't know what happened to Reggie Jackson, man. This ain't the Reggie Jackson that was in LA. This ain't the Reggie Jackson that was in OKC. This ain't the Reggie Jackson that was in Denver. And I'm like, He's old. What do you mean you don't know what happened to him, bro? Age is a real thing. Why do people think a player is good forever?
Because they're playing 2K and they're not watching the games.
Cameron Payne was I liked Cameron Payne last year a lot. We were like, nah.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah, I like campaign. Yeah,
and there was games. There was games in the playoffs where there was stagnant, and we were like, "Put Cameron Payne in the game. He brings a spark. Everything." Nick Nurse was like, he'd play him, and then he wouldn't play him, and then they just released him. It's always the same thing every year with this team, man. They let the better player walk out the door. Isaiah Joe's out there at OKC cooking up shots and hitting shots. Buddy Hield's out there having a blast with Steph Curry, raining threes. It's like wrong decision after wrong decision after wrong decision. And here we are.
Which begs the question: do we have the right people in charge evaluating talent?
And developing.
Because as far as I'm concerned, Daryl Morey, all he's done since being here is bring in names we've heard before, proven names, something that doesn't require too much thought, right? Something that doesn't require too much evaluation. You know what Paul George is going to do. You know what James Harden is going to do, right? He's bringing these guys in that has a resume that it doesn't require him to do too much real evaluating. And then when you get to the real evaluation, the real basketball decisions, it's like we keep letting the best players walk out the door. And it comes to a point where you got to ask yourself, who are the right people in charge when it comes to evaluating the talent? Or do we have the right people, the right scouts saying, hey, listen, this guy's better than this guy, but is Daryl Morey playing cowboy and doing what he wants to do and not listening to his scouts, not listening to his talent evaluators? You feel what I'm saying? So
I think he did good because when you talk about like the draft, like we wouldn't have a Tyrese Maxey. No, everybody passed up on Tyrese. We drafted Tyrese Maxey at, what was it, 20th?
Yeah, 21.
20th pick, 21. So, and then on top of that, he drafted Jared McCain. The problem is just deeper. I think it's the coach. The coaching has to play the talent that's being drafted. We still don't know what Dembona is. We don't really know. Like, maybe he might show a little bit more energy, a little bit more fight on the boards, and we might get something different. Hustle, more hustle, more drive. But they're not being played. So I think it's like a combination of just playing the players, because Tyrese Maxey was like, imagine us not getting Tyrese. Who would we have drafted if we didn't draft Tyrese Maxey? Like, and he scored on that. Like, I didn't see that coming. I didn't see Tyrese Maxey being this guy. You know what I mean? When we drafted him. So
maybe Daryl Morey listens to the coach too much, because he does. A couple years ago in the second round, he drafted Isaiah Joe, Charles Bassey, and Paul Reed. And I remember Doc Rivers refused to play Charles Bassey, who's 6'10", 250, could rebound, could block shots. He was great. You should have put him on the floor as a backup center. Doc Rivers refused to play him. They released him immediately. Greg Popovich gave him a 4-year contract. They wouldn't play Isaiah Joe. They released him immediately. The Oklahoma City Thunder signed him and gave him a contract. Like, how are we the ones doing this? And other teams are like, oh, we'll take him. He's good. You don't know that? We could see that.
That's a great point.
So I think Daryl Morey, maybe he has some drafts where he gets some players that you could probably use, and then the coach is probably like, no, I need experience. And I think he's like, okay, fine, then we'll do this. I think he's listening to the coach too much, probably.
Way too much.
That's a great point. I overlooked his draft equity with Tyrese Maxey, and we clearly like Jared McCain and guys like that. The Isaiah Joe draft, right?
He would have been perfect for this team.
So you know what? I will give Daryl Morey bail on that. He has hit on players in the draft that we all ended up liking and ended up being players elsewhere. So I will concede that. So back to the coaching, back to the lack of player development. These guys, to your point about these coaches having back-to-back coaches, Doc Rivers and Nick Nurse, who don't want to play young guys. Do you know what that says to me? You're fucking lazy. You don't want to coach up these young guys. You don't want to go through the growing pains of actually teaching. And I'm sorry. I think one of the main reasons, again, I know this is a Sixers show, but I think one of the main reasons the Eagles defense has taken the strides they've taken is because you got a guy like Vic Fangio actually teaching guys like Cooper DeJean, teaching Quinyon Mitchell. They got teachers in the building making sure they coach these young guys up, and now 2 of your best defensive players are rookies. So when you get to the Sixers, you got young players who clearly have shown an ability to know how to play. You had Isaiah Joe in the building. I watched him all the time at OKC. I knew he was going to be a player. I knew that. I don't get paid to do this shit.
It was easy to see.
That's a heartbreak.
He had a smooth shot. He has ball handling skills. He
knows how to move off. He knows how to move off ball. You know, sure he's skinny. He's not, but it's basketball. It is what it is. Like, but he can move off ball. Like you said, he has a beautiful form, beautiful shot,
beautiful release.
I saw from a mile away. He's going to last because he can shoot. All he has to do is get stronger and become a better defender. So
opportunity.
So Mike, you know, it's you have to stop being lazy and coach these young guys up at the point in the season when you actually have an opportunity to go through growing pains. You don't want to wait till, you know, it's damn near we're in March or April. Now you want to start playing young guys.
We're 1-7. What do we have to lose? That's my biggest thing. We started off the season 1-7. It's like you should play your young players, and that's why I want to see like a Dembone. I want to see him. I want to see what he got. I want to see consistent minutes. Where
all these guys,
all of them. But I'm just saying, it's just like, what is it like you're saying, Eastwood? Like I just feel like it's just to the point where he's listening to the coaches. You want these veteran players, but they're not the same.
Yeah.
They're not the same like they was a few years ago. So you're just, I don't know. It doesn't make sense.
You keep getting these coaches. You keep getting these coaches that won a championship, and they say, "I'm an experienced championship-winning head coach. I need veterans. I need a win now roster."
Overrated. And they keep overrated point.
It is an overrated point, and they keep signing these dudes that are 5 years past their prime. Like, they were on a championship roster 5 years ago when they were 28. They're now 33. That 5 years in basketball is major. You know,
bro, we got to stop giving. All right, I'm about to be real honest, and I think Nick Nurse is a good dude. I think he knows basketball, but I'm gonna say it, bro. He didn't earn that championship with the Raptors. Let's be honest. He inherited a Dwayne Casey coached up team, and all of a sudden they managed to get Kawhi, and all the stars aligned that year. KD got hurt in the final. Who was it? Who got hurt in the finals? Everybody.
Is it KD? It was KD, I think.
Everybody got hurt in that finals. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was supposed to be the beginning of the end of that dynasty, and the Raptors just took advantage of a down Warriors team. Nick Nurse inherited Dwayne Casey's work. You know what I'm saying? Like it's the same thing with it's my same gripe with Steve Kerr when he first got the job. Now the thing about Steve Kerr, he proved that he could still win. That's the thing he proved. But
because he'll play guys that could play. Like I said, last year he was playing Lester Quinones. He played a dude named Pajemski. Doc Rivers or Nick Nurse would have never put those dudes on the floor, even if
I watched the Warriors, bro. I watched the Warriors smoke the Pelicans earlier this week.
Oh, wow.
And the Pelicans had all their stars: CJ McCollum, Brandon Ingram, Zion, and they were missing Steph Curry. Only person on the court that you knew their name was probably Draymond Green and Jonathan Kuminga. Everybody else was a bunch of guys I never even heard of before, and they was hooping. So I'm trying to figure out what's the disconnect. This is the time when you want to find out exactly what you got, how good these guys can go. You know what I'm saying? Like this is ball crap to me. This is ball crap.
They overcomplicate it so much. They act like playing in the NBA is like so much different than playing basketball. It's just basketball,
it's
bro.
Basketball.
These dudes, they played in high school. They played in college. They played in the G League. They can play basketball. Put them on the floor. It's not like the NBA is some kind of totally different. No, they're not ready for it yet. It's 5-on-5 basketball. Give him the ball, see what he does. And then they'll have one turnover and he'll bench a guy. But Kyle Lowry can be out here getting smoked every game, have 9 turnovers, 1 for 16. Can't guard my 9-year-old son, and he's out here 30 minutes, 28 minutes, 30 minutes. Like, I'm sick of it.
It's the coaching. It's the coaching. And I just hope that before it's too late, he needs to make those adjustments, because at the rate that we're going, even when Joel Embiid comes back, we don't know what Joel Embiid's going to look like. People probably think he's going to put up 50-piece nuggets and 40-piece nuggets every game. It's not going to happen probably.
Hey, Mike.
You know what I mean? So it's like he has to do something before we start getting into a bigger hole. The Eastern Conference is wide open still, but
what do you guys think about the? What do you guys think about this? Because this is how we ended up with a roster with a bunch of old dudes on it. Everyone was like, wait till Daryl Morey gets the cap space to build the team the way that he wants it. And we were looking at Tobias Harris's contract and saying that, the New York Knicks with DiVincenzo and OG and somebody else, all 3 of their contracts are still less than Tobias Harris was making. So we thought Tobias Harris is gone. We're about to sign a whole bunch of like high level role players and build a strong team with a lot of depth. Daryl Morey immediately gave literally all of the money to one guy, Paul George, and then had to sign a bunch of dudes that were about to retire and vet minimums. So he went and gave it all to one guy and signed a bunch of vet minimums, and that's what the roster is right now. That's what you're seeing, And I think Paul George is still really, really good. But wouldn't it have been smarter to say Embiid, Maxey, and let's get a really strong supporting cast of a bunch of high-level role players versus that third star? And that's what we were saying before they signed Paul George.
That's a good point.
We were saying Daryl Morey's obsessed with this big three, and I heard Daryl Morey last year try to convince the media, like, better depth has been winning recently, but in over the history of the game, more stars win more games. And I was like, oh shit, he's about to give all the money to one guy, and he did.
Yeah.
And here's what you have. You got Reggie Jackson out there.
If I could say this one thing, because I see what you're saying, right? I think the whole big three thing is overrated now. It's overrated now. Honestly, what you need is two legit guys, and everybody else is filling. But I want to address somebody in the live chat real quick, and then I'll let you cook, Mike. I want to address our lovely supporter Brandon Katz. He said a couple statements that are just asinine to me. Let's start with the one where he says, Nurse got swept. Where is it? He says, this is a dumb take. Dwayne Casey got swept before Nick Nurse took over. Okay, let's stay there. Dwayne Casey and DeMar DeRozan, unfortunately, had the luxury of dealing with the LeBron Eastern Conference. The moment LeBron left the Eastern Conference, you saw Kawhi go east. Dwayne Casey lost his job, and Nick Nurse took over. So Nick Nurse had the luxury of taking over not only a ready-made Raptors team, but he also had the luxury of inheriting Kawhi Leonard. He had the luxury of inheriting a LeBron-less Eastern Conference. How many times did we say the Raptors probably would have won a championship or made it to the finals if LeBron wasn't in the fucking way? How many times? So again, Dwayne. So let's be honest. They ran into LeBron James in their prime on several occasions. So again, I'm not going to sit here and act like Nick Nurse just was the linchpin or what pushed them over the top to win that finals. Like they've been playing that way.
Right. And if they didn't trade DeMar DeRozan for Kawhi Leonard, they weren't winning shit.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. So
that was a great trade.
So it was a great trade, but again, a perfectly timed trade because LeBron went west. That was the big deal. When LeBron went
would
west,
would they have beaten LeBron if LeBron would have stayed in the East? Like, I don't know about that. Right. That's my point. So so LeBron controls whatever conference he's in, especially when he was in his prime. You know what I mean?
And then he says we're shitting on Nurse and Maxey's been trash. Oh, I'm sorry, Maxey's a 6'2", 6'3" guard trying to carry a bunch of motherfuckers who can't do their jobs.
Right.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry to ask Maxey to drop 45 points just to win the game in overtime.
Yeah, so like, you can't. Dude, shooting percentage is so subjective because when you're getting dudes are flying around screens and forcing you to get rid of the ball, and then you're just trying to force shots because you don't really have any shots in rhythm. I watched Allen Iverson do that for 11 straight years.
Yeah,
dude,
it gets to a point where guys kick you the ball. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Allen Iverson had a season where he shot 39% the whole year. When there's nobody when your number 2 is Aaron McKee. I bet most of the kids in the chat don't even know who that is. You're chucking shots for 11 straight years. Your percentages are not going to be good. You know what I mean?
He's taken so many of them. He's taken so many. Like the more shots you take, the more it's the law.
Unless you're Steph Curry or somebody like
that. but even then though, he's an anomaly. He's a freak. Right. So the bottom line is you asking a young guard again who's most improved player of the year. He's an all-star, right? Your expectations are higher, but the bottom line is he's a 6'2", 6'3" guard. You're expecting him to do a lot. It's not like he's 6'8", 6'9", doing what he's doing. You know, he has to fight to get everything he gets, especially when teams are crashing on him. They're literally, every time he touches the ball, they're collapsing on him, forcing everybody else to make a shot. So what do you expect to happen? And then when the shot clock goes down, all of a sudden the team wants to pass it to him. Hey, Maxey, save us.
That's kind of like what AI said. He's like, well, if he keeps passing me the ball, what you want me to do? I'm going to have to shoot it. When they was trying to say, oh, you're a ball hog, AI, like pass the ball around. Well, if you pass me the ball and there's only 3 seconds left on the shot clock, what do you want me to do? I'm going to shoot the ball, or it's going to be a shot clock violation.
AI only ever played with one other all-star for half a season, and it was Dikembe Mutombo past his prime.
And Chris
You know what I mean?
Webber, right?
Oh yeah, but he was like 33. He was
yeah,
cooked.
that's true. That's true. That's true.
He
yeah.
was cooked.
Yeah. If we had the Chris Webber over the Kings.
I think Vic Vaughn has a good point right here because I remember the Sixers playing the Raptors a couple years ago, and there was dudes off the bench cooking us. Chris Boucher, Precious Achua. He was using a lot of players, but they were all 6'9", 6'10", like two-way defenders.
Athletic.
He had these big, strong, athletic players all over the place, and he was playing them. The Sixers just never have a lot of those guys, man. They never have a lot of those guys 6'8", 6'9", can defend, can rebound, or going to out hustle everybody. But I don't think the season is in jeopardy right now. They're going to get Joel Embiid back if he's healthy and is playing at a Joel Embiid level. It changes absolutely everything. You know what I mean? I think we're all, a lot of people, a lot of fans, we're all, kind of forgetting that because of how bad it looks right now. Joel Embiid changes everything. Joel Embiid in his rookie season off of foot surgery was 12-5 in the month of January with the likes of TJ McConnell, Dario Saric, Luke Ba, Mute, Robert Covington before he was good. He was 12-5 as a rookie center with a bunch of G Leaguers in the NBA. Like Joel Embiid just wins games. He's that good. He changes the game that much on both ends of the floor. If he's not cooked,
yeah. I got a question for y'all.
If he's not cooked, part of me thinks Joel Embiid's cooked and we're all just lying to ourselves.
Oh, no,
if he's not and he still has a lot of game left, then he changes the game.
I got a question for y'all real quick. So what you were saying, like say we spent all our money on Paul George. And look, we got what we have. It is what it is now. But what if, what would you do if you was Daryl Morey? What would you have done? If you had all that cap room, what players would you have went after? Would it be, or what trades would you make? Would you trade for a marketing? Would you try to sign a Chris Paul? Like who would, if you didn't have PG, you didn't sign PG, what would you have done that you think would have been better to put us over the top?
Well, nobody could get Lauri Markkanen. They were refusing to trade him.
Oh, at all? Even if you gave up all your first rounds?
They weren't giving him up for anything.
Okay.
They would have literally wanted Tyrese Maxey. You know what I mean? They weren't trading him for anything. And I would have went Lauri Markkanen, obviously, if he was available.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have went Chris Paul because Nurse would have played him 40 minutes a game and he'd already be injured. And Chris Paul is gonna wear down and probably pull a hamstring. I'm not trying to wish injury on anybody, but he's been injury prone his whole career, and now he's like 38 years old. I think he's amazing, but I don't think he's gonna last the whole NBA season.
What players?
Like, let me give you guys the list of free agents around. When Paul George was
500 in the stream, 500 in the stream. Hit the like button.
Hey,
we hit the big 5-0. Look at us, man.
Smash that like
Shout out
button,
to everybody.
Y'all. Listen to some of these free agents that were available at that time, when Paul George got signed. I
don't think I'm gonna like this.
Paul George. I guess they consider Maxey a free agent, but he signed his extension. So
yeah,
OG Anunoby, Paul George, Pascal Siakam, Emmanuel Quickly, LeBron James, Nick Claxton, Patrick Williams, Isaiah Hartenstein, Malik Monk, Miles Bridges, DeMar DeRozan, James Harden, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, Obi Toppin, Tobias Harris, Klay Thompson, Isaiah Joe, Aaron Wiggins, Royce O'Neal, Buddy Hield, Caleb Martin, Isaac Okoro, and I can go on and on, but
we was kind of
honestly, man,
we had to make the move, make the signing. Like when
honestly,
you think about it,
Paul George is obviously the most. That's probably the best name you heard. I mean, you knew LeBron wasn't leaving LA.
Yeah, LeBron wasn't leaving,
and you knew OG Anunoby wasn't leaving New York.
Yeah.
Pascal Siakam, he went to Indy. That was an interesting move. Isaiah Hartenstein, he went from the Knicks to OKC. They paid him a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
Malik Monk, I'm a Malik Monk guy. I would have loved to have Malik Monk in Philly. I would have loved that because he's a guy that's not afraid to put the ball on the floor, not afraid to get his shot. He's aggressive. He's going to attack. I loved watching him in that. One of my favorite moments of watching Malik Monk play basketball was that Golden State series, I believe, from last year or was it 2 years ago, the Golden State Kings series where they were going at it in that first game, and with the game 7, that was one of the best. That was some of the most beautiful basketball I've watched in a while. So yeah, I mean, I guess when you look at it from a distance, you say to yourself, Paul George was probably the move, right? Or what? You go cheaper and get DeMar DeRozan, but he's still 35.
Make a trade though, we got those first round picks from the James Harden trade, maybe get a Malcolm Brogdon or Alex Caruso or somebody like that, or just get a whole bunch of good quality role players and put them around.
He didn't want to trade any draft picks. Caruso went for a first round pick, I think. No, he didn't even. He went straight up for Josh Giddey, which was a crazy trade.
Yeah, that was the they had to move Josh Giddey. That he had some issue. That was like hey, you know what? Let's just do a clean swap because you got to get rid of him. We want to move on from this guy. So
Mark Schmeckel, these dudes are brain dead. Hey Mark, listen, man, go on youtube.com, click on the top right corner, create a channel, okay? Make your own podcast. And in 5 years, let me know if 500 people are watching live, okay? Because I'm betting against it. Jason Watson, as a Raptors fan, this feels so good to say in regards to the Nick Nursery. I called it Nick Nursing Home. We called this when he kept the young kids on the bench and wearing out your starters. We told you so. Yeah, you did tell us. We'll see. We'll see if it. I think Nurse I think Nick Nurse is a really good coach. He stands in his own way a lot like Doc Rivers does. His I need experience. I need veterans. I need all this. If he can look in the mirror a little bit and change his philosophy right now, maybe something changes. But again, it's the question of like, is it Nick Nurse or is this roster not that good? You know what I mean?
Yo, somebody wrote in the my man Brandon Katz. He said Monk is good, but he plays no defense. He wouldn't fit with Maxey and he wouldn't fit with Embiid. He needs the ball to be effective. Well,
Monk could not play with Embiid. Catch and shoot 3-point
Anybody
shooter?
can play with
Caleb Martin needs the ball to be effective. Kelly Oubre needs the ball to be effective. Like, what are we talking about? What? What are we talking about?
Malik Monk is a bucket. Those type
Kyle
of players
Lowry needs the ball to be effective. What are we talking about?
Yeah, yeah. How can you I mean
what?
But Malik Monk reminds me of like Lou Williams a little bit. Like one of those dudes that you can just put on the floor with anybody. He's gonna catch and shoot. He's gonna make a move.
He's gonna attack.
Yeah, like Cam Thomas right now in Brooklyn. Like he's just a bucket. He's just gonna give whoever it is, he's giving buckets. He might drop 40 in a loss, but he's scored. The Sixers, they never have that guy, They never have that bench guy that's just a bucket. That like Spencer Dinwiddie in his prime a couple years ago just was a bucket off the bench, man. They never seem to find that. Jared McCain is really the one right now. You got
to feed him. I'm pouring everything into Jared McCain. I want him to be as confident as possible because
we're going to need him.
You're going to need him in the back. You're going to need him, especially when Maxey up the floor. Somebody that runs that's going to run point. McCain clearly is a more natural point guard than Maxey. You could tell. He's a more natural point. His pace is a little bit more slower. He's looking to pass. He's not afraid to put his head down and drop to the cup. He's aggressive, And there was a point where I was watching him in that second half, and I'm saying, "Yo, is he the only one that want to hoop?" Everybody else it seemed like they was moonwalking. It looked like him and Yabusele was the only one that wanted the ball out there.
With energy and wanted to play.
I don't think Nick Nurse thinks he's a point guard for some reason, because he said in the absence of Tyrese Maxey, Kyle Lowry is going to start and Reggie Jackson is going to be his backup. And I'm like, what? Where the hell is Jared McCain? And then he put Jared McCain in the game right off the bench with Reggie Jackson on the floor. So he's playing him as a shooting guard. And I think he's one of the best facilitators or just kind of pick and roll point guards on the whole roster that can control the offense from the top of the key. So I don't even think Nick Nurse is playing him as a point guard right now, which I'm confused about also.
Will he start? What do you think? You think he's going to start or no? Still no?
I think he starts next game.
Okay.
You think Jared McCain starts next game?
I don't think. I had to see it to believe it, brother Tony.
He led you in points
see it
and
to believe
minutes
it.
last night.
We talking about Nick Nurse though, bro. You got to keep that in your mind. Nick Nurse.
Again, yeah. I'm loving Jared McCain. I think the biggest thing that I'm loving about him is his confidence. Like you said, the fact that he took more shots than anybody else on the team last night. I love that. You know what I mean?
More
a rookie
points,
out
more
there.
Shots.
You know how confident you have to be to go out there in a situation like that and be like, I'm the dude, I'm shooting it. like no worries, no nothing. He plays such a relaxed, like carefree game. He's really confident in his abilities, man, and nothing sways, his mindset. I really like him a lot, and he doesn't seem like he needs any development at all. He looks like a complete player. Handles the ball, can finish at the rim, can shoot the three. I don't see why he's not playing.
He just needs experience, Nick. Your Nick Nurse.
Give him some minutes.
Nick Nurse is like every job these days, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like you apply, but they say they only want people with experience. But the only way I can get experience is if I get the job.
Yeah.
Like, so how can I get experience if nobody won't hire me? It's like being a college kid all over again when you come out. Like, okay, what do you want me to do? Like, I need experience, but you won't give me the experience. So,
dude, when they're healthy, I think I'm ready to see Jared McCain and Tyrese Maxey at the 1 and 2.
Let's go.
At the 1 and 2. I'm ready to see that. I would love to see that. Jared McCain at the 1, Maxey at the 2, Paul George at the 3, Yabusele at the 4, Embiid at the 5. I would love to see that.
Yeah. I don't know if they're putting Yabusele at the 4.
I know, but I just want to see it. But Yabusele,
he's going to feed off of Embiid too, man, because he's a lot better of a catch and shoot 3-point shooter than anybody thought.
Yeah, and I think he helps you space the floor. I think from an energy perspective, he's going to take pressure off Embiid, right? He's going to give all that hustle that you want out of Embiid, because Embiid's not diving for any basketballs anymore. It's done. So I think Yabusele.
We better hope so. Because he'll be the one to do it, and then
I think
I want Kelly to come off the bench. I want Kelly Oubre Jr. to come off the bench.
I want him. I think he's a better guy coming off the bench, a spark plug,
a starter.
I don't like him as a starter.
Yeah, he needs to be out there where he can just go do things, because when he's playing with other guys that should be taking shots, then you see Kelly Oubre forcing shots, and you're like, why are you taking that shot? Whereas if he's if he's in the bench lineup, he's one of the ones that you need to be taking shots, because Kelly Oubre's never seen a shot he didn't like. He's going to put up shots. He's gonna get
confidence.
His, man.
His confidence is like superstar confidence. He does not care. I like it, but he needs to be come off the bench.
Dude, he thought he could take on a moving vehicle on a BMX bike, man. He's the most confident person ever.
Allegedly. Have you found that mystery person?
Nah.
Allegedly.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I think I said all I wanted to say. I got nothing else unless you guys.
Yeah,
I'm straight,
got something. Man. I'm straight. we gotta get this next game. Who we play again? Next game?
Charlotte. I think.
Charlotte. Is that a winner? Is that a dub? Is that a dub?
I don't know. I can't even lie to you guys. I don't know.
No. LaMelo Ball is way too quick off the dribble, bro. Who's staying in front of LaMelo Ball in this roster? Kyle Lowry, Reggie Jackson?
Reggie Jackson.
I ain't gonna lie. He's gonna cook.
He's gonna cook
Reggie Jackson.
He's gonna cook. Oh man, I don't know.
Yeah, he gonna cook Kyle Lowry.
we're in the win column on Tuesday against the Knicks when Embiid comes back. First game back. I
don't know.
You know what? I'm gonna go out on the limb here, and I think they win their next 4 games
in a row.
Yep.
Hold on. What?
What I got to lose? What I got to lose at this point? They won.
Hey, bro, I love you being optimistic, my brother, but I don't know about that. Until Joel Embiid comes back, I don't see us winning.
Well, you guys said Embiid comes back on. He comes back on the 12th for the Knicks game, right?
Yeah.
Or is he suspended, including the Knicks game? When does he come back?
No, he's supposed to be back on the 12th for the Knicks game. Yeah.
Okay, so
Charlotte, New York, 10-0 Cleveland.
If he comes back on the 12th, right?
Yeah.
Your team is instantly better and more prepared for that Cleveland game and that Knicks game.
Yeah, but he still needs to ramp up though. He's ramping.
Those Cleveland tickets are as low as $9. Jesus.
Joel's gone through his ramping. He's gone through his ramping up protocol, right? But now he has to ramp up in the game. So it's going to take 7 games for him to be in like game shape and ready to go and get all the rust. Dude, he's going to have 13 turnovers in game number 1. You know Joel Embiid when he's rusty. Joel Embiid when he's rusty can't even catch a basketball.
You know what? I might have to
take
that
take
back
a while
because the 12th, that New York Knicks and that Cleveland game is a back-to-back. So I don't.
Yeah. I'll say we can get at least 2 out of the 4. I'm not sure what games, but I think the Orlando we can win that.
You know what?
And then
you know what? Fuck it. I'm leaning in.
Oh
they going,
gosh.
they going 4. Listen, about time we speak, because we're going to have 4 games in the bucket next time we speak. Next time we speak, they're going to be on a 4-game winning streak.
So who are they beating? They're beating Charlotte on Sunday?
They beat Charlotte, New York, Cleveland, and Orlando.
Hey, we can get.
Go on DraftKings right now. What are the odds? What are the odds of all those games?
Oh my
I hope
God.
you're right, bro. I hope you're right.
Take a
Oh my God.
Take a 4-game parlay right there on DraftKings.
I'm talking so much shit
and
right
you're
now.
gonna win a lot of money if that's true. Maybe Orlando or Miami next Friday, or maybe Memphis if Ja Morant, pulls another weapon out on Instagram or something and gets suspended. Maybe I don't know, man. I don't know.
Yo, listen, I'm rolling the dice. 4-0 the next 4 games. Watch it.
I rock with it, man. Hey, listen, man. This is a blast. I think we got something here, guys. I think this show is great, man. Every Saturday morning, we're going to be here. Every Saturday morning, win, lose, or draw. Tone to Shields, Mike Sports Vibes, and myself. 439 still in here. Give us a like if you haven't yet. Subscribe to all 3 channels, man, and we'll be here. We'll be here next Saturday also. We'll keep talking about it. If they're 1-15 or if they win a couple games, we'll be here, man.
4-0 the next 4 games, y'all. 4-0.
I hope so.
All right, Tone. All right, Mike, man. Thanks. See you guys.
So.
Yeah.